Hello everybody, my name is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we're going to have you tag along as we work on a few projects on the homestead. One of the big projects that we worked on for the last few weeks has been leveling out an area for our roadside stand. And what we discovered is there was a 30-inch difference from the front corner to the back corner. So we had our friend Josh bring in a couple loads of stone so that we could get it leveled, and then Jim worked on the tractor to spread it out. On this blustery cold day, when I had hoped to spend my entire day inside, we ended up having to level an area for my roadside farm stand. Unfortunately, we discovered that that was not going to be enough to get it level so that it was ready to put our shed on there. So we called Josh back up and he came out with the equipment and leveled the area for our roadside stand. We just purchased this garage, which is actually a freestanding garage, but it is going to be perfect for my roadside stand. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, it is repossessed, and so the first thing on hand is to clean it out. We are almost there. We spent a couple hours taking out everything that was in there, and honestly, this space is very, very nice. It took a little muscle, but our brand new to us roadside stand is cleaned out and ready to be set up. This shed was a repo. We cleaned it out, we scrubbed it. It is 20 foot by 12 foot and will suit our needs very, very well. The next step is to add lighting. I'm going to put them up in the rafters, shelving, table, and have everything ready to sell seedlings is the first thing from our roadside stand. We are very grateful that we decided to go with a used roadside stand. It's actually a garage system, but the entire end opens up. So when the door is open, I am open for business. It did involve a lot of cleanup, but it was the best option for us. Another activity I tackled today on the homestead was rooting more sweet potatoes and planting the ones that I already had rooted. You may wonder why I have a container of half and half sitting on my counter when we're talking about planting sweet potatoes. That's because these cute little pots I have used from half and half containers, and I use them because they are food grade, so I know they are safe and they're free. I already have them. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I reuse containers to plant seeds in. This is my half and half container from Aldi, and we go through at least one of these a week, so it's a constant inflow of these containers. The first thing I do is I take off the label, and it's pretty easy on these guys. I put the clean container next to one of the pots that I've already cut. And I like to back it up to my cutting board so I can get exactly the same size, so I don't have them all different heights. At this point, I just measure and I draw a line. And I do that on all 4 sides for how long my other one is. And I just keep turning it. I use a regular pen. I tried to use Sharpies. They just didn't work as well. And the 4th side. Just like that. See, the line that I put on is right there. And what I'm going to do now is take a serrated knife and I cut on those lines. And that's really it. I'm just going to line it up on there and go back and forth until I have cut through it. Just like that. And when it goes through, I just keep turning it around until I cut through all 4 sides. It looks like this. Now the last thing I do then is I put holes in the bottom for drainage. You can see there's one right there. And the easiest way I have found to do that is to use a heated nail. I'm going to demonstrate putting holes in the bottom of this one. This is actually a 1-gallon jug of water, and I'll be using that to plant a strawberry plant in today. But it's very simple. First thing you need is a pair of pliers to hold the nail, just like that, because you're going to heat up the tip of the nail and it's going to get very, very hot. What I like to do is count to 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and keep on counting. Once you get to 30, you want to move quickly and push down on the bottom of the container. Now you're actually just heating the tip of the nail. If you don't have it hot enough, it's not going to melt through the plastic. Usually I can do 2 or 3 holes for each time. All right, let's see. Let me move this closer so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I am simply lighting the end of it. All right. I'm going to bring it close to what I'm doing now. You place your flower pot or your jug upside down. All right, here we go. All right, and I was able to get 3 of them. So I had already put some in the bottom, so this one has 7 holes in the bottom and it is ready to go. Now this nail is very, very hot. You don't want to touch that. I'm going to set it down where it can't touch anything. All right, I'm going to set this 1 gallon aside. That's going to be for a strawberry in a little bit. But we are going to focus now on planting 3 of the sweet potato slips that I have rooted. And these have been in there a few weeks, probably 2 weeks. As you can see, it has a huge thing of roots. So this guy is definitely ready to be planted. So I'm just going to set him in there and I'm going to fill it up with soil. My first sweet potato is planted and I want to show you what happens on the side of your slips that you are planting. See all these roots? They grow all along the side of your sweet potato slip. So when I plant this, I'm going to plant up to that top one. And so I already have about 1 inch of potting soil in the bottom of my container. Remember, these containers have holes in the bottom for drainage, and then I'm simply going to fill it with potting soil. These are the first 3 sweet potato slips that I have planted in dirt, and I will probably have them in my farm stand to sell in the next month or so. I have never had success buying plants for strawberries in the store, but I have been looking for that variety of strawberry for several years, and when I saw it, it was $4.99. I was like, I will take a chance. And of course, it comes in a solid colored bag, so I just felt in and I thought, I think they're growing in there. So I took a chance, and it says there are 10 roots, and boy, was I surprised at what I found. These roots are actually alive. Now that is the first surprise. So what I'm going to do, I have 1 pot ready now. I'm going to plant all 10 of them in pots. That will give them a much better chance because I can't put them outside now. By the time I wait and put them outside, they'd all be dead. So I am going to plant this. Now, you're looking for the crown, which is pretty much at the base of the plant before you get into the root system. Do not plant this part right here under the dirt or it will rot, it will die. And so I'm going to spread these roots out a little, and I'm going to put it in my 1 gallon size and fill this with dirt up to the crown. All right, I realized I just said a bad word in the gardening community. I did not fill it with dirt. I filled it with soil. All right, and so I planted it and I felt around to make sure that that crown was indeed over the soil line. Now these little things sticking out, those are not roots. Those were actually leaves from before, so that is fine. Those don't need to be buried. All right, the only other thing I need to do is water it and plant the other 9. And the last thing I want to show you is I am going to cut some more slips off my sweet potatoes because they are getting huge. This is not going to take but a minute because you simply just go through, cut them off, and stick them in water. And I have some jars already. It has room temperature water. It has a smaller top to your jar so they won't sink in. So I'm going to do 2 trays tonight, and literally it's just a matter of cutting them off and sticking them in water. All right, so I'm just going to go towards the bottom and cut it off. Now that one has a leaf down towards the bottom. I'm going to cut that leaf right off. We don't need that. That way it can root a little bit lower. The top of this is looking beautiful. In fact, let me show you something on these leaves. Now this is an open sweet potato leaf. Before they open, they are folded in half. So once it opens up, this will pop open and look like that. So this one is still very tight. But all I'm going to do is stick that into a jar of water. Just like that. And I'm going to fill this. Last week I did 20. I will probably get another 20 off of here. So we are definitely in the sweet potato production line right now. All right, this one I twisted off the potato itself, and it actually has 2 branches. I'm just going to pull them apart just like that. And now I have 2. Sweet potatoes are very forgiving. And I have exactly 20 more that I have put in water to root. You just have to make sure the leaves don't fall down under the water or they're not going to root. They're going to drown. I wanted to show you all of these slips that are growing. There are so many on these sweet potatoes. So in the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot. Thank you so much for coming in to see how our sweet potatoes are doing. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining us and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.